Tonight,
the pressure and stress a plasma donation would put on a donor's heart with this condition would be profound.
the family of a woman who died after donating plasma calls for a new investigation. Also tonight,
Project Puma resulted in the largest seizure of illicit drugs in Manitoba's history.
how many people were charged after a 2-year investigation into a sophisticated criminal network. Plus,
and so what we wanted to do was create a beautiful space. Art is healing.
we show you the incredible artwork ready to transform rooms at HSC Children's Hospital.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Mayoral Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. New questions tonight about the death of a 22-year-old woman who died after donating plasma for money in Winnipeg. This after a family representative has revealed the university student suffered sudden cardiac arrest. Her death was just one of 2 which took place in a matter of months at Grifols, a for-profit blood and plasma center. And while both Health Canada and Manitoba's chief medical examiner found no link between the deaths and the donations, advocates say the cause of death should prompt a new investigation. With more on this new development, CTV's Jeff Keel joins us now live. So Jeff, what is the province saying about this?
Manitoba's health minister is rejecting the calls for a new probe, saying they won't undermine the medical examiner or Health Canada. Advocates are calling for a new investigation into the death of a woman who donated plasma in Winnipeg after they say her cause of death has been revealed.
There may have been multiple contributing factors to her death, and none of them are her fault.
Bloodwatch.org, a nonprofit group, says they are representing the family of 22-year-old Rodiat Alabidi. The international student died after donating plasma for money at this Grifols location on Taylor Avenue last October. Bloodwatch says an autopsy report shows Alabidi's cause of death was a sudden cardiac arrest due to dilated cardiomegaly known as an enlarged heart.
The pressure and stress a plasma donation would put on a donor's heart with this condition would be profound.
There was a second death reported at this other Winnipeg location in January 2026. Both Health Canada and Manitoba's chief medical examiner found no link between the deaths and the donations. But the advocates claim there are discrepancies in reporting, and because of the manner of death, there should be a new probe and a federal inquiry.
We want to see an independent and fulsome investigation into all the deaths connected to paid plasma in Manitoba.
In a statement, a Grifols spokesperson tells CTV News all assessments show no link to the donation process. The investigation found no evidence of a machine malfunction or staff error that contributed to the donor's serious adverse event. And Manitoba's health minister says they're not going to undermine the investigations that have already taken place.
When Health Canada and the chief medical examiner come to effectively the same conclusion that these tragic deaths are not linked to plasma donation, I am absolutely going to respect that conclusion.
We reached out to Health Canada and the chief medical examiner for comment.
Jeff, back in March, Manitoba's health minister said banning paid for plasma was on the table. What is Yusoma Asagara saying now?
Yeah, the advocates are still calling for that ban. Asagara says that is something they are always open to discussing, but in this case, based on the findings from the medical examiner and Health Canada, there will be no ban.
All right, thanks for this, Jeff. If you have a strong opinion on daylight saving time, the province wants to hear from you. It's launching a survey to help determine whether to end the practice of changing clocks twice a year.
The times they are changing here in Manitoba, and we might stop changing our time. But which way should we go?
The survey asks whether Manitobans want to have year-round standard time, daylight time, or just simply stick with the current system. Currently, the time moves 1 hour forward to daylight saving time in March and 1 hour back in November to standard time. Last month, the Premier said Manitoba is potentially eyeing the end of seasonal time changes. The move would bring Manitoba in line with other prairie provinces. The survey also includes a report on the health impacts of the time change. You can fill it out online at engagemb.ca. More than $37 million worth of drugs are off our streets tonight. Winnipeg police have just made the largest drug bust in our province's history. Standing by live with those details is CTV's John Hendricks. So, John, this is a lot of drugs. How many people were involved?
33 people were arrested, Mayoral, and collectively they've been charged with 174 criminal offenses related to drug trafficking, the proceeds of crime, and conspiracy. Now, the interprovincial investigation, dubbed Project Puma, started back in March of 2024. Police learned large quantities of cocaine, meth, and fentanyl were being imported into Winnipeg. The drugs were then distributed throughout the province and into northwest Ontario. Police say the investigation focused on several trafficking cells operating under a single umbrella organization.
Throughout the course of the investigation, officers identified a core network of individuals with international connections to the upper echelons of organized crime groups in Canada, including the Hells Angels, Wolfpack Alliance, and Mexican cartels. The organization exerted significant influence over the distribution of illicit drugs across Manitoba and other provinces.
Police say the drugs came from the United States through commercial transport vehicles and were warehoused primarily in Alberta and Ontario before coming here. Project Puma wrapped up in March. Now, during the investigation, police seized 339 kilograms of meth, 175 kilograms of cocaine, and more than 11 kilograms of fentanyl. They also seized 14 guns, more than 1.3 million illegal cigarettes, and over $800,000 in cash. 29 of the 33 people arrested are from Manitoba. 3 others were from Ontario and 1 was from Alberta. Investigators say 7 people have already pled guilty and received sentences ranging from 3 to 16 years in prison.
How will this bust impact the overall drug trade, John?
You know, that remains to be seen, Mayoral, but police say the drug trade is a catalyst for many other areas of crime, including homicides, gun violence, and exploitation. And the effects extend to burdens on our health care, social services, and of course, the justice system.
All right, thanks for this, John. Police in Thompson are investigating a fatal stabbing that happened early this morning. Mounties were called to an open area located off Princeton Drive at around 2:20 a.m. They found a man with stab wounds. He was taken to hospital where he died from his injuries. RCMP investigators are probing the incident. Anyone with information is asked to contact Thompson RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Manitoba Trade is going global. The province is placing a regional trade representative in India. The purpose is to diversify trading partners and expand market access internationally. The province says the representative will provide market intelligence, build business connections, and attract investment opportunities. The move is based on Manitoba's economic development strategy, which was announced last year. It focuses on building a competitive economy and reducing over-reliance on the U.S. market. The City of Winnipeg wants you to weigh in on climate change and its impact on our community. The city says the chance of extreme weather events are increasing and there's a growing need to cut pollution and use less energy. This is why the city says it's updating its climate action plan, and it wants your help. It's launched an online survey to learn how residents are affected by the changing climate, as well as what it needs to do to lower emissions and protect the community and its infrastructure. You can fill out that survey on the city's website until June 28th. All right, let's hope Catherine Dow is not tracking any adverse weather events tonight.
I mean, I am
a little bit. Oh boy,
I am.
I should know by now the way this weather is going lately.
Clearly, the news has been so bad that you've just been zoning me out because I gave a similar forecast, and Marilee's like, if it's not sunshine,
I keep hoping for the best.
It's coming, Marilee. That's the great news. We do have some wonderful weather to come, some lovely high temperatures that are feeling much closer to what we're expecting. However, we do have a little bit of inclement weather to get through first. As you can clearly see here, this largely low pressure system that's pushed in from the west, bringing a good chance of some rainfall and maybe some thunderstorm activities. Did not know why I did that. My apologies, folks. Northwestern Ontario. Glitch is a happy accident. You're looking nice and clear, while we here in the south could be dealing with rainfall and some thunderstorm activity. We've already been tracking it in areas in and around Portage-la Prairie, but the good news is it's likely to not stick around as long as we thought. So I'll have details on when it's expected to lift, and yes, a beautiful warm up on the way. Details on that later on in the newscast. Right now, though, as I give my graphics a stern talking to, let's take a look through the Bathfitter Live Eye. It's 15 degrees out there, pretty overcast. And oh, look at that. This is breaking news to me. We do have a little bit of rainfall already starting in Winnipeg. Winds are out of the east-southeast. Barometric pressure is falling. Humidity at 53%.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
We're getting a look at the experiences of Manitoba's LGBTQ2S+ community from a first-of-its-kind study. Rainbow Resource Centre developed 2 online surveys with probe research, which were conducted between February and November of last year. The results show personal connections are powerful drivers of acceptance, with half of respondents saying they are or love someone who is queer. The biggest difference is on protection and funding. Nearly all queer respondents believe rights should be protected by strong laws, while only 7 in 10 Manitobans agree. And only half of the general population say governments should fund queer communities. Support was highest among those with a community connection. Rainbow Resource Centre plans to release further results in the coming months. A past mayoral candidate is tossing his hat in the ring once more.
I've waited 4 years for this moment.
Don Woodstock officially registered this morning as a candidate in Winnipeg's mayor's race. He's a familiar face on the civic campaign trail, having run for mayor previously in 2018 and again in 2022. Woodstock is campaigning on 8 main issues this time, including safety, homelessness, and Winnipeg transit. And he says he's the right person to fix transit because he's the only candidate with experience as a bus operator.
It's an easy thing to talk, very easy to talk about what you're going to do for transit, but unless you know, based on actual experience, everything that you're saying is literally amount to nonsense.
5 others have registered as mayoral candidates. The deadline to do so is September 22nd. Election day is Wednesday, October 28th. There's a new plan for a historic building in Brandon.
They're pretty monumental in the Brandon scene.
Blackbird Housing has purchased the Mackenzie Seeds building along with its neighbor for $3.25 million. The plan is to create 130 residential units, each with sensors to detect falls and heart rate monitors, along with healthcare support services and common space intended for seniors. The $20 million project is a partnership between Blackbird and several technology companies which are developing systems to help with the construction, including laser scanning.
What they do is create like a digital twin of the buildings to within millimeters of accuracy. So from there, we can, check the structural integrity of the building. That'll help with engineering reports.
Blackbird's president says the buildings have already been gutted during past projects that fell through. So much of the artifacts from Mackenzie Seeds is already gone. The exceptions are a spiral staircase to the clock and a concrete seed bin on the 7th floor, which is too difficult to move. While there's no timeline for completion yet, Blackbird hopes to begin construction on the project by the end of the year. A motion to rename a park space in front of Burton Cummings Theatre has cleared a major hurdle at City Hall. The motion calls for Odeon Park to be renamed Kevin Walters Plaza, and it was unanimously approved by the Mayor's Executive Policy Committee. Kevin Walters was a longtime music promoter who died in 2014. He helped run the 2006 Grey Cup Festival and had a hand in bringing the Juno Awards to Winnipeg twice. He was also involved in several other music festivals and events in our city. The motion still needs final approval from Winnipeg City Council before a renaming can take effect. Canadian artists are helping transform patient rooms at HSC Children's Hospital.
And so what we wanted to do was create a beautiful space. Art is healing.
In January, the Children's Hospital Foundation put out a call for artists to create nature-themed art pieces for CK5, the Childhood Cancer, Blood Disorders, and Transplant Ward. It's all part of an art pilot project to help young patients, many who spend significant periods of time in the ward receiving care, feel more at home in the space. With the ward currently under renovation, staffers realized it was a unique opportunity to do something special. Now, out of the 165 artist submissions, 20 have officially been selected. Some of the names include Annie Beach, Arnold Stastuk, and Ashlyn Anderson-Williams.
So what we did was really do a Manitoba theme. We have 70 inpatient rooms, and we're starting with the top floor. So this represents largely northern Manitoba. We also have children that come from Nunavut and northwestern Ontario. And so this is going to also just be a home away from home for some of those families.
The selected artists represent diverse cultural backgrounds, including Indigenous, BIPOC, disability communities, and Manitoba's LGBTQ2S+. The hospital hopes to have the art up by the end of September.
It's a shocking amount of money, and when you do the math, it works out to nearly $1 million per minute.
The cost of hosting the FIFA World Cup becomes clearer. Just how much taxpayers will fork over to host these games? Taking a look at the markets tonight, crude oil lost nearly $6 after the U.S. president said a deal could be near to end the war with Iran. The loonie rose to 72.72 cents U.S. Gold futures added $24. The TSX jumped 420 points. The Dow Jones and NASDAQ gained 645 and 399 points, respectively. We are getting a clearer picture tonight of how much Canadians are paying to host the FIFA World Cup matches in Toronto and Vancouver starting next month. A federal report says more than $1 billion of taxpayers' money is being spent. And some experts are questioning whether it's worth it. CTV's Andrew Johnson reports.
With the transformation of Vancouver and Toronto into World Cup cities just about complete, something else is also being unveiled thanks to Canada's federal budgetary watchdog. How much it's all going to cost, just over $1 billion to host 13 games in June and July.
It's a shocking amount of money, and when you do the math, it works out to nearly $1 million per minute of regulation game time.
Or roughly $82 million per game, which is actually less than Russia spent to host in 2018, Brazil in 2014, and South Africa in 2010. But one sports economist points out, with Canada co-hosting alongside the U.S. and Mexico, what we're paying for doesn't quite compare.
Well, we're not getting any of the major elimination matches. We thought that if we were hosting the World Cup, we would actually see something of consequence.
The report indicates close to $500 million for FIFA is coming from Ottawa, the rest from provincial and local governments, to pay for things like security, infrastructure, and stadium upgrades. FIFA estimates a multi-billion-dollar economic benefit for Canada. BC's premier last week predicted the tournament will bring 1 million visitors to Vancouver over the next 5 years. The mayor has led the charge.
This is an amazing opportunity. It's going to be a month-long commercial.
Critics claim otherwise.
I've been saying for 8 years now, give or take, that we were sold a false bill of goods, not by FIFA, but by our politicians.
How do Canadians feel? Well, the latest polling from Leger showed close to 3/4 of Canadians support hosting World Cup matches, but a majority indicated their biggest concern is taxpayer costs. And the final number isn't in yet. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
The World Health Organization says the Ebola outbreak in Congo and Uganda likely started a couple months ago, and the conditions of violence and displacement made that region vulnerable.
And displacement means not only displacement of the population, but of course, including the health workers. And you know, health facilities cannot work optimally when there is conflict, and when the health workers are also fleeing as part of course, the community which is displaced.
The outbreak has alarmed health officials because it spread for weeks undetected. The WHO says 2 possible vaccines are being considered for the deadly strain of Ebola, which has killed more than 130 people. But any vaccine will take 3 to 9 months to develop and require clinical trials. There are currently more than 600 suspected cases. The United States has indicted former Cuban President Raul Castro. He's charged with 1 count of conspiracy to kill U.S. nationals, 4 counts of murder, and 2 counts of destruction of aircraft. The indictment relates to a 1996 incident in which Cuban jets shot down planes operated by a group of Cuban exiles. 5 fighter pilots are charged. A warrant has been issued for Castro's arrest, and American officials say they expect him to show up by his own will or by another way. Cuba's current president calls the charges a political maneuver devoid of any legal foundation. The Prime Minister was at a high-stakes meeting today in BC pushing Ottawa's priorities. At the same time, Premier David Eby voiced his concerns about Canada not working if separatist premiers get all of the attention. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more on that meeting.
The Prime Minister is a friend to British Columbia.
BC's Premier struck a friendlier tone standing next to Prime Minister Mark Carney. It came a day after David Eby said Canada won't work if separatist premiers get all the attention, a reference to Alberta and Ottawa moving forward on the plan for a bitumen pipeline to the West Coast.
Developing our economy has to go hand in hand with environmental protection for the next generation, including the North Coast tanker ban. That is crucially important for British Columbians.
Carney pointed out 1/3 of the projects identified as in the national interest are in BC, and that the 2 leaders are on the same page. But an hour earlier at the Vancouver Board of Trade, Carney made it clear he's looking for partners, not pushback.
We don't want to hear what people are against. We want to hear what they're for. And if you're for something, we will get behind it.
Carney's challenge is to try and sell that message while balancing the competing interests of each province.
I think what he's doing is he's saying, look, we are going to establish rules that will propel forward major projects, create jobs, and generate benefits for each province, for each part of the country.
A part of that balance includes working with provinces like Saskatchewan to apply the industrial carbon tax. While Premier Moe refuses to collect the levy, he's open to discussions on it.
To see if we can come to some type of an agreement that works for industry and doesn't impact negatively the industries that are creating jobs and making investments just like this in this province.
Carney and Eby agreed to start negotiations on BC's economic priorities. However, the Prime Minister also told that Vancouver business crowd if things get stalled there, his government will spend time in the rest of the country because they need to move forward. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
In Texas, a man intentionally drove his Tesla Cybertruck into a lake, hoping to test out one of the vehicle's features. Take a look at this. Police say it was a botched attempt to try out the electric vehicle's wade mode off-road feature. Problem is that function is strictly meant for shallow creeks or rivers, not deep lakes. Officers arrived on scene to find that vehicle partially submerged near the shoreline. The driver was arrested and charged, and fire crews had to be called in to help remove the Cybertruck from the water. The Montreal Victoire are aiming to hoist the Walter Cup tonight as they face the Ottawa Charge in Game 4 of the PWHL final. The Charge are coming off a 2-1 home ice victory Monday to keep their playoff hopes alive. Montreal leads the championship series 2-1. All 3 games have been decided by just 1 goal. If Ottawa evens it up tonight, Game 5 will be held in Laval on Saturday.
I want to know where it's coming from.
Pulling the wool over Canadians' eyes, what is maple washing and why Ottawa is getting more complaints about it?
Good things come to those who wait. That is evidenced by our long-range forecast. As you can see, we're on quite the upswing heading into the weekend. 22 degrees under plenty of sunshine on Friday. We're getting even warmer from there. 21 on Saturday, and by Sunday, we're hitting 25 degrees. No, your eyes don't deceive you. We're likely to break the 30-degree mark by the start of next work week.
A federal federal agency is reporting an increase in complaints about something called maple washing. It's when retailers and producers try to make their products appear to be 100% Canadian made or grown in order to appeal to the growing Buy Canadian movement. CTV's Abigail Beeman explains.
Do you tend to look for origin on what you buy?
Yes, I do. I try to get Canadian.
Trade tensions with the U.S. have many shoppers looking to buy Canadian where possible, and they tell us they don't appreciate attempts to maple wash.
People are trying to sort of vote with their dollars when it comes to what they want international policy to be.
It's not fair. It's not right. I want to know where it's coming from.
The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says complaints about maple washing are on the rise, 400 since the start of 2025 when the trade war heated up.
Classic situations of false representations or misleading advertising.
Joey Zukran is one of the lawyers behind a yet-to-be certified class action lawsuit taking aim at a string of stores with examples like a maple leaf beside a can of soup that says product of USA and tomatoes advertised as a product of Canada that say product of Mexico.
The allegations in the lawsuit are clear that this was done to, attract or touch on the sensitivity that many Canadians have shopping, especially in these times.
Not all products at Canadian grocery stores are even required to have their country of origin listed. There's no official logo for Made in Canada, and according to the CFIA's own website, a maple leaf on a product doesn't necessarily mean it's Canadian.
We need stronger penalties. We need greater enforcement.
In addition to consumer confusion, this entrepreneur lecturer says maple washing is unfair to Canadian suppliers who can lose business in the process.
Some kind of a certification mechanism would help.
Of the big retailers, only Sobeys and Loblaw responded to a CTV News request by deadline. Both acknowledged some isolated incidents they say they worked quickly to fix. Loblaw companies were slapped with 2 of the 7 fines the CFIA handed out. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
A rare sight was captured in the waters near Vancouver Island. A pod of white-sided dolphins were spotted stranded in a tidal pool. Take a look at this. Wildlife photographer Nick Thornton says he turned on his camera after realizing the mammals were not in distress and were actually just waiting out the tide. He says staff members from the Department of Fisheries and Oceans were on site, keeping people back and monitoring the situation. And nothing to worry about here because that evening high tide came in and those dolphins were able to swim back into the Strait of Georgia.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Catherine Dow back now with an update on some rain falling over the city right now.
That's right, rain and maybe some thunderstorm activity rolling in. The good news is we're kind of eating our vegetables with these conditions before we get dessert in the form of some beautiful temperatures to come. And vegetables too, because I don't know about you, but things are looking a little dry and gross out there. So a little bit of rain could do something nice to help our spring look a little bit more green and beautiful. Speaking of green, you can see it already on our radar. This is a low pressure system that we've been tracking that's starting to materialize here in southern Manitoba, and with it some chance of some non-severe thunderstorm activity. You can see specklings of that. Let me move out of the way. In and around the Portageville Prairie area. If we do get that thunderstorm activity, it'll be non-severe, it'll be fairly disorganized, but it could be still a little bit exciting to watch a storm roll in. You can see it rolling in here on our futurecast as the evening progresses. It really pushes in from the west, while northern Manitoba, while certain areas a bit further to central parts of the province could see a little bit of action. It's likely you're going to be decently clear overnight, with temperatures staying pretty warm as well in the low teens, while we here will contend with the rain and that thunderstorm activity off and on overnight and potentially into tomorrow. The good news is, as we keep an eye on this system, it seems to in the morning start to lift out of our skies here in Winnipeg, potentially hovering around Dolphin, Swan River areas, while we here in Winnipeg surrounding Red River Valley could start with some rainfall tomorrow, and then it could taper off into the afternoon, leaving a mix of sun and cloud cloud, but it seems to kind of reacclimate in the southwest there, bringing some more rainfall into the afternoon, while the north sits pretty under lots of sunshine. In terms of our temperatures, we are going to be hanging on to a good amount of heat. That is the good news. For us here in Winnipeg, while we are getting up to a high, or to a low rather, of 10 degrees overnight, my confusion with my words is because yesterday this was a typical high for us and we reached the freezing mark overnight. Not going to be the case for us this evening as we deal with that rain and thunderstorm activity. Winds decently strong out of the south at 40, gusting at times to 60 kilometers per hour. Into tomorrow, we're starting off in the double digits already. That slight chance of showers to kick us off and those southerly winds persisting. And from there, we're getting even warmer. We do have that low chance of showers dogging us throughout the day. Southerly winds also dogging us, but a decent high of 22 degrees. That's above seasonal. 21 is what's typical. Haven't been able to say that in a while. For the rest of the province, to the northeast, I mentioned a couple clouds for you. Expected temperatures dipping there a few degrees below or above freezing. And then into tomorrow, lots of sunshine with temperatures staying balmy in Thompson at 17, 14 in Island Lake, 12 in Gillam, just 8 degrees in Churchill. Northwestern Ontario, a couple clouds for you. Temperature staying mild at 4 degrees in Opaskwayak, Cree Nation, La Pond, Flin Flon, hovering at 0 in Lynn Lake. Into tomorrow, lots of sunshine, above seasonal values for you in the upper teens with some decent southerly winds, not as fast and furious as we'll be seeing here. The southwest, as mentioned, rainfall, non-severe thunderstorm activity. Temperatures a little bit cooler than what we're seeing here in Winnipeg, 8 degrees in Brandon and Nipawin, 7 in Dolphin and Swan River. Bit overcast for you tomorrow with that slight chance of rainfall off and on throughout the day. And for us here overnight, as we also contend with some stormy weather, we could still hang on to that into the early morning hours. Then it's looking like a mix of sun and cloud with highs in the low 20s. Northwestern Ontario, calm, cool, 6 degrees in Kenora, 4 in Dryden. And then tomorrow, while Kenora likely going to get a taste of that system, the rest of the region staying sunny and warm. Your Skywatch picture of the day. A beautiful bluebird, I believe. Birders, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. Taken by Wade in Winnipeg. Lovely shot there, just stunning. Look at those colors. And then over in Gimli, Pat snapped this lovely sunset on the beaches, shores of Lake Winnipeg. Thanks for sending those in. And of course, if you have any weather pictures, we'd love to get eyes on them. Email them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Today marks exactly 94 years to the day Amelia Earhart took off from Harbour Grace, Newfoundland to begin her solo journey across the Atlantic. In more recent times, a statue erected in the town in her honor was stolen and eventually found in pieces. But as CTV's Garrett Barry tells us, something special happened on this anniversary.
With fanfare and a flyover, Amelia Earhart returned to Harbour Grace this morning. As a statue, yes, but also with an impersonator who dropped in on a celebration to mark the statue's return.
The second we get a connection and something that kind of puts us on the map, it creates connection, and we're a very strong community.
This bizarre saga saw the statue stolen last April, only to be recovered by police in the woods 3 months later. It appeared it was somewhat carefully cut into pieces. The rebuild was unveiled to the public today.
There's so many rumors that she was here, she was there, she was thrown away in the water. But at the end of the day, there's impeded under justice, and they located her. We got her back.
Clearly, there's a lot of pride here in Harbour Grace. This is the town where Amelia Earhart started her famous non-stop transatlantic flight. It's a piece of world history right here at home. The statue unveiling was streamed into this watch party, met with a standing ovation. It still inspires, according to veteran airline pilot Kim Windsor.
I always point out to, do you know what happened there? So, you know, and when I do, everyone is just like, wow, like they just can't believe it. So it's just, like I said earlier, it's a magical place, and it just means so much to me.
There have been a few more security measures added to this site, lights and cameras to hopefully ensure Amelia Earhart stays put going forward. Garrett Barry, CTV News in Harbour Grace, Newfoundland and Labrador.
Having access to data like this is really just so crucial for decision makers and policy makers.
Beating breast cancer, why a new study says where you live matters in your odds of survival. It's World Bee Day, a day designated to celebrate the tiny pollinators that play a huge role in our environment. From producing honey to pollinating plants, bees are some of the hardest working creatures on this earth. And when it comes to communication, bees do it through dance. The unique method is known as the waggle dance, and researchers at the University of Manitoba have found a way to mimic it. Byron Van Ness led the team behind that discovery and joins me now to talk more about why it is all the buzz. Byron, good to speak with you.
Hello, thank you for having me.
First, can you explain what exactly the waggle dance is and why it's so significant?
So the waggle dance is actually probably the most famous communication system in nature, and it is a honeybee waggling her body on a dance floor inside the hive, and that dance contains information about the location and quality of a valuable food source or other resource.
Now, as the saying goes, they say, you should dance like no one's watching, but I understand this is not true for bees. They actually cater this waggle dance to their audience. Can you explain a bit about that?
Yes, but they're not exactly watching because it is completely dark inside the hive. It's dark and crowded and noisy, so they need to have some other way of attracting recruits, attracting watchers. And so they do this through vibrations and sounds, and it appears an electric field that the other bees can detect and pay attention to.
And your team has developed a device that kind of mimics this. How does it work?
So when any object is flying through the air friction rips electrons off of it and the object becomes positively charged. So in this case, a positively charged honeybee is performing that waggle dance inside the hive, and that charge is moving with her, and that wiggles the antennas of the bees nearby. So they just look for that, we think, and it's probably combined with other information like vibrations on the comb, the honeycomb, and other important signals that all together communicate this together. And we're doing this electrical waggle dance generator just to try to understand what this one component of the signal means, because we don't understand this one as well as the others.
How do you see this device being used, and what could it mean for bee conservation?
Well, it doesn't have any direct application to conservation, except for the fact that we need to understand these animals better, right? For one thing, they feed us, and they are in danger. There's a lot of habitat loss and pesticide problems, and the better we understand their biology, and the better we understand how they act when they are healthy, the better we'll be able to help them through these challenging times as they face these stressors.
All right, now that you've developed this device, what are your next steps? What do you hope to do with it?
Well, I have 2 students right now who are going to continue working with it this summer, and they're looking at whether there are specific signals within the dance or they're just responding to any electric field. And we don't know yet if there's actually specific information in the electric field, or it's just they see an electric signal and they go for it. And then the other one is it appears that nurse-age bees don't pay attention to it, but foragers do, which makes perfect sense. And so those are our tasks for this summer.
Fascinating. Byron, you'll have to report back on what you find out. Great speaking with you.
All right, thank you.
Different places, different risks. That is the headline of a Stats Canada report on breast cancer. If you're going to be diagnosed and treated, you're better off living in a large metropolitan area. Too many women, some in rural areas or in regions with large immigrant and racialized populations, are slipping through the cracks. CTV's Geneviève Boschman explains.
Patricia Russell calls Brampton, Ontario, home, and she's survived breast cancer twice. 2 diagnoses 13 years apart.
It just felt like a kick in the stomach when I was diagnosed. It was a high time in my life, and the doctor told me that you have the bad kind.
It's triple negative, an aggressive subtype. She says she received excellent care. A new study found geography tells the story when it comes to breast cancer risk, mortality, and experts say care. Statistics Canada found the incidence of breast cancer is highest in rural regions of Quebec, Ontario, and the prairies, but also in some urban centres with large immigrant and racialized populations. In contrast, fewer women face a diagnosis in large metropolitan centres like Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver, as well as in northern and remote regions.
Having access to data like this is really just so crucial for decision makers and policymakers to have a better understanding of where resources are really needed. So this really does bear out the fact that in many communities outside of the big urban centers, there is that lack of access to being able to book an easy appointment with for a mammogram.
The study also found where you live impacts the risk of dying from breast cancer differently. It's highest in rural eastern regions, lowest in large urban centers where there's better access to treatment and follow-up care. Russell is now doing well and a tireless advocate helping other women through a support group.
I'm very aware and I'm very conscious and passionate about educating, especially women in the Black community, because we tend to not take care of ourselves the way that we need to.
She's also pushing for removing as many barriers to care as possible, no matter where home is. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
If you love a lot of salt on or in your food, well, turns out you're not alone.
We have in this report, we show that less than 4 out of 10 Quebecers achieve the 5 servings per day of fruits and vegetables.
A new study from Nutri-Quebec shows 82% of Quebecers eat more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day. That's the maximum amount recommended by Health Canada. In the report, there are 3 foods most responsible for the high salt intake. They include sauces and condiments, bread, and cheese. According to the study, cheese is a common fixture of nearly every meal eaten in Quebec. The hope is this study will help researchers to share strategies to encourage healthier eating habits.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic.
A blast from the past jumps back into the charts. The new record set by Billie Jean. Spotlight is next.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting 1999, the Ultimate Prince Experience.
Get ready to celebrate Canada Day at Princess Auto Stadium. The Winnipeg Football Club is hosting its 3rd annual Canada Day celebration on July 1st. Things kick off at noon in the tailgate area with live music, cultural performances, and tons of family-friendly activities. And that's not all. There's a concert happening inside the stadium starting at 5, with headliners Down with Webster and Chad Brownlee, along with local favorites Donna Mero and Mise en Scène. And the whole night caps off with fireworks. All Canada Day celebrations at Princess Auto Stadium are free, but you will need a ticket to get into the main stage show. You can get those free passes through the Blue Bomber website. One of Michael Jackson's most iconic songs is back at #1 more than 4 decades after its release. Billie Jean tops Billboard's Global 200 chart this week, fueled in part by renewed interest from the new Michael Jackson biopic. The song climbed from number 65 just 3 weeks ago and now leads the chart after more than 51 million global streams in a single week. Billie Jean also sets a new record for the longest climb to #1 on the Global 200 chart, reaching the top in its 144th week on the list. It was originally released on Jackson's Thriller album in late 1982 and dominated the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 for 7 weeks. Speaking of a throwback, 40 years later, the Transformers are coming back.
Okay. Well, the dust was really thick.
Hey, Cup, don't you think we have better things to do now than tell old stories? No!
The original was released in '86, and to celebrate the 40th anniversary, the classic is headed back to theaters. The iconic animated film will return September 17th, which is Transformers Day, and this time it's going to be in 4K. A showbiz legend is celebrating a big birthday today. The one and only Cher turns 80. It has been decades of success for the goddess of pop, known for her iconic voice and bold fashion. From her 60s hit, I Got You Babe with Sonny Bono, to global hits of her own in the 80s and 90s, like If I Could Turn Back Time and the Grammy-winning dance track Believe. Cher's transition to acting was also a huge success. She won an Oscar in '88 for her role in Moonstruck, and at the 2026 Grammys, she was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award. And coming up tonight on your primetime lineup, catch MasterChef at 7. Next is The Floor at 8. And wrapping up, The Big Bang Theory starting at 9. It is all right here tonight on CTV.
Looking for pretend players who will be crowned Canada's next top air guitar champion.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
We did a little bit better today in terms of our heat. We got as warm as 18 degrees, a couple degrees off what's normal. Well off the mark from that record set many moons ago. However, we're going to be getting a lot closer to that in the coming days. Maybe some record-breaking heat, we'll have to see. First, though, we contend with some rain and thunderstorms overnight with temperatures dipping to 10. But let me move out of the way so you can see the gorgeousness that we have in store. Look at those warm temperatures.
Looks great. Well, who needs an actual instrument when you can just play the air guitar? The inaugural Air Guitar East Coast Regional Qualifier was held in New Brunswick over the weekend. The national contest has actually been happening since 2014, but this is the first time a regional qualifier has been held in the Maritimes. Air guitarists are judged on their originality, artistic impression, and accuracy. The national championship is happening this Saturday in Toronto. Whoever wins this weekend will represent Canada at the Air Guitar World Championships in Finland at the end of August. Who knew that there was a world championship for this?
If there's a trip to Finland on the hook,
you're going to start practicing?
I'm going to take this up for next year. Really contend.
All right. That does it for us tonight. Have a good one.